Hello drummers and music lovers everywhere. Tim Conley, drummer, drum teacher, here with my son Liam.
Hi.
Now, everybody's stuck inside with this coronavirus pandemic, and Liam and I decided, based on a video that I saw by a YouTuber that I frequently watch, he's also a music aficionado like Liam and I, and his name is Pete Pardo. From Sea of Tranquility is his YouTube channel. If you want to check him out, he reviews music, albums, and states his opinion about certain musical things. And he's really great. I really enjoy him. So, Pete, if you see this, I just want to let you know that you influenced Liam and I to do this, and we're going to have a lot of fun based on what I saw off your list. So what I'm going to explain is we are going to list from worst to best the top 13 studio Beatle albums. And Liam here, let me tell you a little bit about my son. This guy has been a Beatle fan since day one. He knows every album, he knows every song. He is a Beatles fanatic right from the beginning. So he knows what he's talking about. That's why we're doing this together. I also have been a Beatle fan my entire life, and I can remember the Beatles back in my early days. Back in the 60s, I can actually remember the Beatles. And the very first song I really truly remember is Hello Goodbye, as being influenced, because I have five older siblings, and they were all playing all the Beatle music, and I was heavily influenced as a young boy. Also, I played in a Beatles tribute band, and I have an old disc here. The band was called Let's Get Back, and we covered a wide variety of Beatle material, and it was a lot of fun playing their music. So I'm very familiar with the Beatle music, not only from a listening fan perspective, but also playing in a tribute band for many years. And Liam, of course, listening to the music incessantly since he was a baby. So anyways, here's our list. We're gonna start from number 13, work our way down. Now, please keep in mind, everybody's list is gonna be different. Please do not drag us through the mud because we didn't put your favorite album as first. This is my opinion, it's his opinion. They're different. Also, Pete's list, it's different. Two of our lists are different from Pete's too. And it was funny, when we were watching Pete's video, we're like, oh, Pete, I can't believe you did that. Oh, what do you mean that's number 3? Oh, you know. We were having fun, Liam and I, talking about it. But really, Pete, we love you, man, and we're not dragging you through the mud. I understand that that is totally your opinion and how the Beatles music reached out to you. This is how the Beatle music reached out to us. So Liam, number 13.
All right. So for number 13 of the Beatles albums, in my opinion, we have Yellow Submarine. Now, I did enjoy this album. However, I feel the soundtrack is not really needed on this. The second half I've never really listened to. I've honestly only ever listened to it once, just to hear it. But my favorite tracks from Yellow Submarine have to be Hey Bulldog and Only a Northern Song.
I agree. That's my number 13, and I also like those songs. Hey Bulldog's a killer song. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Hey Bulldog your favorite Beatles song?
It's up there.
It's up there. Okay, I thought it was odd that Liam puts one of his favorite songs at the bottom of the list, but hey, it's his list. It's your your list, sorry. Okay, no, I also put Yellow Submarine as number 13. Great. I want to say that all the Beatles albums are good. It's really hard for us to rank them. We were really banging heads trying to put our list together, but this is what we came up with. Number 12, Liam?
All right, number 12, we have Let It Be. And my favorite songs from this album, 100% have to be The Long and Winding Road and Two of Us. Two great songs.
Yep, that's also my number 12 as well, coincidentally.
And this is where him and I start to separate.
We start to separate after this, but Two of Us and, of course, Let It Be. The album is fantastic, it's great, but we had to put it somewhere. In terms of the entire Beatle catalog, it's number 12 for us. Now things start to go different. Number 11.
Number 11 for me, yeah, he doesn't like me now. Number 11 for me is Help. Now, I actually do really enjoy this album. However, there's a lot of standout songs that, or not, well, I wouldn't say standout, but like songs that stand out to me that I dislike. I wouldn't say dislike. I'm not a fan of. But the two big standouts for me are The Night Before and You're Gonna Lose That Girl.
Two great songs. Can't argue with you there, but I will argue with the order, your list order. My number 11 is Beatles For Sale. Now, this is a great album as well. Two classic songs off that album are 8 Days a Week and No Reply. I mean, those two songs, a couple of my favorite tunes. I know that we're looking at the albums, not the individual songs, but I mean, 8 Days a Week, what can be said about that? It's an absolute classic, one of my all-time favorites, heavily influenced by Ringo. I'm a professional musician, I'm a drummer, that's what I do for a living, and the groove in 8 Days a Week, the Ringo shuffle, it's killer. If you don't know that song, you've been living under a rock or you've been stuck in the house and you need
under quarantine.
You need to get your records out, CDs, whatever, and start listening to these songs because they're fantastic. All right, Liam, number 10.
Number 10 for me has to be Abbey Road, I'm afraid. Now, a lot of people have this song at their number 2, number 1. For me, this song never hit that same way. However, there are the standout songs, and I couldn't just choose 2 for this one because there's so many great songs. I chose Oh Darling, Here Comes the Sun, You Never Give Me Your Money, and Mean Mr. Mustard.
I agree with Liam 100%. That is also my number 10, and all those songs he listed, they're all killer songs. Here Comes the Sun and You Never Give Me Your Money being the two standouts for me. Okay, number 9, Liam?
Number 9 for me is Please Please Me. Their first ever studio album. And for me, those standouts, I had to put 3. I Saw Her Standing There, A Taste of Honey, and There's a Place.
Great album, great album. Next one for me is With the Beatles. Now, this album actually has some really great songs on it. You know, All My Loving, All I Gotta Do, It Won't Be Long. These are more classic Beatles songs that I love, but I put With the Beatles at number 9. Number 8, Liam?
Number 8 for me is the Beatles' White Album. Now, although this is a 30-track album, double album, a lot of these songs I was just never interested in, and a lot of songs I dislike, such as Rocky Raccoon or Revolution Number 9. But my standouts for me, and I've always listened to these ones, is Martha My Dear and Birthday.
Well, Liam and I are going at the opposite ends of the spectrum. My number 8 is Please Please Me with There's a Place, and of course the title track Please Please Me as being my 2 favorite songs on that album. It's killer album. I love that first album. Introducing us to them, of course, but there's some albums I feel that are just better as they matured and stuff, but that early album, fantastic. Liam, number 7.
Number 7 for me is With the Beatles, as you said earlier. Great pop album, a really good way to introduce them to the Americans, and with their first American album. And for me, With the Beatles, standouts are It Won't Be Long, All I've Gotta Do, and You Really Got a Hold on Me.
Killer. My number 7 is Sgt. Pepper. Now, some people are going to be like, Sgt. Pepper, number 7. Well, for me, I mean, I love Sgt. Pepper. Don't get me wrong. I love all the albums, but I got to rank them somewhere. So number 7, of course, the title track. I love the reprise. Fixing a Hole. There's some really great songs on that album. Number 6, Liam.
So for number 6 for me is Magical Mystery Tour. Now this album, it's killer. It's easily one of their best albums, even though it's not particularly up there for me. But I'd say that one of their 2 best songs have to be Blue Jay Way and Strawberry Fields Forever, especially with the psychedelic feels.
Can't go wrong with that, Liam. My next one is Revolver. Revolver, great album, breakthrough album. That's when they really started to evolve into experimental music, and their music really started to change in 1966. Here, There, and Everywhere, Eleanor Rigby being 2 standouts for me on that album. Killer album, really transitional and pivotal. considered to be one of the most inspirational albums to other musicians of all time. So that, I mean, you can't deny the greatness of Revolver. Okay, Liam, you're number 5, I believe.
Number, yes, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Sorry. All right. So number 5 for me is Beatles For Sale. Once again, great album, but some songs just don't hit as hard as others. For me, their best songs are No Reply and 8 Days a Week, as this guy said.
Yeah, I mean, those two are standouts. My next one is A Hard Day's Night, number 5. If I Fell, I Should Have Known Better, and of course the title track, killer songs. If I Fell has some of the best harmonies ever recorded. I mean, the vocals on that album, Hard Day's Night, the entire album, the vocals, just incredible. Of course, A Hard Day's Night, the movie, which featured the Beatles coming to America and Canada for the first time, absolutely incredible, inspired so many people to pick up instruments. The reason I play drums is partially because of Ringo, because of hearing Ringo, and Hal Blaine, which is another topic. Hal Blaine, one of the greatest drummers of all time. But Ringo, we're talking specifically Beatles here, so Ringo, huge influence in my life as a musician. Okay, Liam, your top 4.
Top 4 we're at. All right. So the 4th best album is definitely Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, with their standouts being Fixing a Hole, Within You Without You, and A Day in the Life. You can't go wrong.
No, can't go wrong with that. Can't argue with them. Slightly different than my list, but that's okay. My number 4, Help. Love that album. Every song on it, to be totally honest, but the standouts are, of course, the lead song, Help, and You're Gonna Lose That Girl. Killer songs. Another Girl. I love that album. Next, Liam, number 3, top 3.
All right, we've reached the top 3, everyone. So the 3rd best album for me is definitely Rubber Soul, with the standouts of Norwegian Wood and In My Life. Some of their best pieces of work.
Can't argue with that. A little different on my list. Number 3 for me is the White Album. I mean, what can be said about the White Album that already hasn't been said? It's a classic. Believe it or not, Helter Skelter is a standout for me. Because to me, I love heavy metal. Helter Skelter, in my opinion, was the first heavy metal tune. Even before Black Sabbath, who are touted as being the first heavy metal band, which I do agree with. But the first metal song, really what got it all started, was Helter Skelter. So, I mean, that's a standout. And I also love a song completely the opposite of Helter Skelter. That's what's so great about the White Album, is the different songs that are in it. They're so completely different. Like Rocky Raccoon, completely different than Helter Skelter. Completely different. But on the same album. But that's how versatile the Beatles were, and how great they were, that they can make it work on the same album, 2 completely different songs. So that's my number 3. Liam, number 2.
All right, we've reached number 2. So number 2, easily A Hard Day's Night, one of their best albums, one of the easiest albums to listen to. And for me, their standouts, 3 great harmonization songs, If I Fell, And I Love Her, and I'll Be Back.
Killer, absolutely. My number 2, Magical Mystery Tour. To me, Magical Mystery Tour is the most underrated of all the Beatle albums. I think it's a fantastic album. It's number 2 on my list. Penny Lane and Fool on the Hill are probably in my top 5 songs of the Beatles. Those 2 songs sum it up for me. You know, there's playing in a Beatles tribute, there's a tendency. I've played in many tribute bands. Actually, I play in a Neil Young tribute band right now. But playing in the Beatles tribute band, I had so much fun playing. People would say to me, man, don't you get tired of those songs? Yes and no. I have to admit, there were times, mainly because of him, not because of the tribute band. This guy listens to more Beatle music than any human being on the planet. He could sing you every song. Sometimes he makes me laugh so hard. He'll come down in the morning and he'll see me, I'm making his breakfast. He'll come walking downstairs. All of a sudden he'll start singing a Beatles song. Then he'll stop. I'll sing the next line. he sings the next line, and we go back and forth, and this is how we greet each other in the morning. So we are fans, to say the least. All right, Liam, number 1. Drum roll, please.
Okay, the best album by the Beatles, 100%, has to be Revolver. Their biggest transition, no one saw this album coming. And this song, a specific song on this album, my standouts are Here, There, and Everywhere, but this next song, this really stood out to me because in the song For No One, as I'm sure you've heard it, there's a French horn solo in it, and I'm a French horn player myself, so listening to this, it really inspires me to be able to play to that level of an instrument, and it's such a powerful melody. And it's truly amazing, and that's why it's the best.
Well, my number 1 has never changed. It's always been my number 1, and this was a no-brainer for me. Coming up with number 1 was actually easy for me. The rest of the list was difficult, but number 1, Rubber Soul. My favorite song of all time, of any song, is In My Life. That's the epitome of songwriting, of musicality, emotion. I mean, that song is the greatest song ever written in my opinion. And another song that I absolutely love, and I used to have a lot of fun playing this song in the Beatles tribute, was You Won't See Me. I love the harmonies in that. I love the musicality. Another one of those songs that you just don't get sick of. I can hear it a million times. I have heard it a million times, and I'm not tired of it. So I mean, when you can listen to, only one album on an island, as they say, for me it's going to be Rubber Soul. For him it's going to be Revolver. What's yours? Everybody's going to be different. So listen, this is for you that don't know Liam here, because this is technically my video. Liam has his own YouTube channel where he features his own videos, and he's got a bunch of reviews of Beatle albums on there from when he was much younger. Well, like, I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years old. He's 14 now. So years ago, Liam did a whack of videos reviewing Beatle albums from an 8, 9, 10-year-old perspective. So
they're on his channel.
Oh, they're on my channel. I forgot, sorry. Anyways, Liam 108 Guy is his channel. Drum Teacher 43 is my channel. Or just look up Tim Connolly Drums with O's, no E's in there. And that's our take. Thanks, Pete, for inspiring us to do this. We had a lot of fun. And, subscribe to my channel, comment. I'd like to hear your opinion of the Beatles songs, because, as I said many times, everybody's got a different Beatle favorite album. Liam?
Yeah. So check out my channel. I do a lot of comedy sketches, so lots of acting. I have my friends over. We shoot these crazy big videos. And I also did one with him a few weeks ago. Super funny with my little sister. But yeah, that's my Beatles opinion.
Okay, drummers, music fans, thanks very much. Keep drumming, keep listening to the Beatles. See ya.